do this again. All right, guys. We are back. We hope you can hear us now with our broadcasting software.
We now we're there.
We had a little bit of an issue, so hopefully you guys can hear us now. Somebody chime in on Facebook and tell us when you could and couldn't hear us. And then we'll start over right there.
There you go. There we go.
So somebody chime in on Facebook and let us know when you could and couldn't hear. And then we'll get going again. Sorry about that. We had a little bit technical difficulties. This broadcasting software is semi-good. I would like it to be a lot better. We use a program called Wirecast. So anybody that has any broadcast experience, let us know if you know of a
Ryan
better
Myers. I can hear you guys, so that's good.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Right on.
My mom, Kathy Sanders. I can hear you.
Awesome. Well, let us know when we left off, when you couldn't hear us, and we'll kind of start back from there. And if you couldn't hear the beginning, we'll start over too. So, like I said, though, if anybody has any broadcasting experience and has any good information on what we can do to upgrade our broadcasting software, hit me up, because the program we use, Wirecast, has kind of been giving me a little bit of heck these past few days. So it'd be nice to have a better live broadcasting system. So, what did anybody chime in saying when they didn't catch us?
We were talking about my lovely weekend.
Yeah, and you said you were chilling because you were going to go to the lake. I'm kind of jealous about that.
Let's roll, man.
I don't think I'll be able to, man. So, and another thing we should mention is we may or may not have a show next week. I have a photo shoot in Tempe on Thursday, and then on Friday, they're going to do some pretty serious ear surgery on my right ear. So, depending on how I feel on Monday, I didn't schedule any featured guests, but if we do have a show, there's a couple other things that I'd like to talk about and I'd like to get into since I've gotten most of the information back from my injury, from the people in my accident. I'd like to maybe just sit down with you and we could kind of go over it and help people understand what happened, because I know a lot of people want to know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see, though. Let's just see how I feel on
We'll get
Saturday
into it a little bit today.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Like I said, we got Brett Carpenter on the phone today, or on Facebook, or excuse me, FaceTime. He is just an awesome dude. And let's get back to what you were talking about with your weekend.
The weekend went good, man. Like I said, I've just kind of been chilling out and kind of getting ready for Sandland, man. It's coming up. So it's going to be I've just been doing all the maintenance on the car. And, I would hate to have something catastrophic happen during a dune season.
Yeah.
That's the worst, you know what I mean? It's the worst time for something bad to happen.
And I used to go to the dunes and I used to just load up and go.
Yeah.
Change the oil every now and then. And I'm talking about on dirt bikes, but with the side-by-side stuff, I'd usually do the same thing, but I'd go and I'd have an issue. And then, so my crew chief, Brian Lopez, he was telling me, he's like, dude, no, just take 2 weeks before you go to dune season.
Yeah.
Maintain your car, strip it down, put it back together, just like you do the races.
Yeah.
And you'll have a much better time. And I started doing that, and it was, flawless.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to the point where now I just got to just make sure everything is greased up, all the fittings, and then I should be ready to roll. So, and it'll probably sit till then, other than ripping around the neighborhood, sliding around the corners. But that's about it.
Yeah, that's cool, though.
Yeah.
And keep it nice and shiny.
Oh, yeah.
So we had one guy comment that he couldn't hear us. Can anybody else tell us if they can or can't hear us? I think it's going to be pretty awesome this dune season, too.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are starting to get side-by-sides.
It's crazy.
We've thought it was big.
3 years ago, I thought it was insane.
Dude, now, the amount of people that have side-by-sides and go to the dunes.
Yeah.
But I think it's bitching.
Yeah.
It's a perfect opportunity. You know what? One of these years, we should do a podcast at the dunes, too.
I'm down. We should.
Dude, let's do it in the Clean Shock Therapy tent.
Ooh.
Get our sponsors involved.
Their big old truck that sits out there, I'm in.
And they got pavement, too.
Oh,
man, that would be super cool. So, sounds perfect. Okay, good. Well, I think it's just because we're way out in the freaking boonies here, so the internet is, I guess, good and bad. So, let us know if it gets any worse. We're broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook, so it's a little bit heavy on the system. But let us know if it's bad. Then we'll try to figure something out.
Guys, I suggest you go to YouTube. I've seen that YouTube has probably been the best for us.
The YouTube video service is really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
So if you guys want to head over to YouTube,
head over to YouTube.
You guys can comment and stuff on YouTube too, and have the same chat. So let's open up the YouTube real quick too. Cool. Well, what kind of events? Like I know you have some events that you have coming up too, right?
So.
Well, tell everybody what they're for, because you operate a Facebook page.
Yeah, I operate a Facebook page. Most of you guys know me. I own and operate 520 Side-by-Side Facebook page. I know there's a lot of Facebook pages out there, but if you've never been on 520 Side-by-Side, it's pretty active. Do a lot of good events. Met a lot of really good people. But anyway.
And 520 is the area code of the town we live in called Tucson, Arizona.
And it pretty much wraps around, goes all the way to Phoenix almost. So that's why I did it. But other than that, but Veterans Weekend will be my first trip. We'll all be out there hanging out. And then we have that, and then we have DDR, which is a Tucson thing, Darren's Dune Run. That's a big fundraiser event. It's really cool.
For a guy named Darren?
Darren, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then New Year's is a big trip. Thanksgiving is a hit and miss.
Yeah,
we do like a big toy run. We team up with Goldie's Paint and Body.
Yeah.
Great people.
Jeremy just commented too.
Yeah. It'll be the third annual run I've done. And this last year we decided to do Diamonds Children's, and we raised $20,000 for that, I believe. And
that's a children's hospital.
Children's hospital, yes. And we had a lot of people show up. We've had one of our RV dealers here in Tucson, Desert RV, teamed up with us, and then we filled up his personal toy hauler with all these on top of the parking garage. And all the kids
at the local university hospital
banner, yeah. And then all the kids that are sick, they can't get out. They don't get to see, you know what I mean? They're stuck behind glass.
Yeah.
So they all, as we were riding up with all of our Christmas lights and everything, they were all.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw some
picking down the road, and then all you see is you look up in the distance, and they all swarm the windows, man. It gives me goosebumps because it was so cool.
For them, that's like seeing Santa Claus sleigh coming down the street,
it was
man.
Awesome, man. And then we kind of got split up, so like there was a lot of construction going on at Banner, and a lot of people. One guy made a right turn where he shouldn't have, wrapped around in a dead end, and he was.
Jeremy from Goldie's just popped on.
All right.
Hey, Jeremy, make sure you tell Margaret I need some more salsa, man. Dude, that salsa that she made was off the chain.
Yeah, George gave me some of that salsa, man. I drank right out of that thing.
Hey, Margaret, I need some. I need some more.
And the jerky, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, some of that stuff was just really good.
Yeah.
So those events all sound like a blast.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of our and get involved with those things because they were super cool events. They're super cool events, and all of the events that Cody does have an alternative. They're either helping somebody, helping an organization, or an alternative for people that haven't gone to a certain designated area to ride, and they can go ride with him. And he can take them out, or somebody that knows those areas, because Cody talks to all the people on the groups and make sure that they have a safe ride. So definitely join up with some of those Facebook pages or message us through Dirt Life, and you can get hooked in with Cody's stuff. So
wild over here.
Well, I think it's getting a lot better, though. It's only our third episode. We've had a bunch of people commenting saying it's so awesome.
Yes, very
and we're
successful.
doing a great job. There's a perfect segue into the haters, though.
Yeah.
So I know that you and I deal with stuff a lot the same. We have a lot of the same mentality. You're a very good person. So when people are hating on stuff that you do, how do you deal with it?
Man, I kind of, at first I don't really care, but then, as time goes on, it's like one person says one thing, and then before you know it, it all gets started with the sky's blue, right? And then down the road, all of a sudden, the sky's black. And it's like
in their opinion or in their overall.
People just talk, man, and you just got to learn you, or they just don't know you. That's how I take it. So as time goes on, you feel that these same people that you've heard talk, and they usually end up, saying, "Hey, dude, I'm really sorry," But by then, there's already so many other people that have heard a different story.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like that whole thing, that game that you used to play. Like, you can even play it when you're drunk, and it's like, hey, I'll tell you one thing, you tell the next person, and then see how for businesses.
Right.
And with the advent of social media these days, I think it's really, really crucial that people can differentiate from an opinionated comment from somebody that doesn't like you or jealous of you, whatever it is, to somebody that's giving you an opinion, get on you for something. And then, I've had conversations with you, and you'll come over and talk in the garage or whatever, and you'll be like, dude, this guy he was being a total jerk.
Yeah.
He was being a total jerk. But you know what? I did learn something from it, and now I'm going to make myself better. I don't know if that guy's going to make himself any better, but I am.
Yeah. I mean, with all these social media pages now, I mean, it's crazy. It's out of hand. For it all, but at the end of the day, every one of these same pages that are starting to come up, they're all turning into the same members. It's a circle of the same people.
And you're talking about pages that are on Facebook that are just well, I think that's probably has a lot to do with the people. If I have a little idea or something, I'll do it. But I don't really read that much. Like I'm not that big of a social media voyeur. I like to understand and see cool stuff, but I kind of just use it as a platform for making my brain feel healthier and the stuff that really intrigues me. Like if I'm going to a concert, I'm going to listen to the music that I want to listen to, and I'm going to go to the concert that I want to listen to. And that's kind of where I put myself in social media too. So if I'm not interested in something, I just bypass it.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that I do. Social media is just people posting good shit, right? So you have to have that level of people talking bad about the good shit too.
Yeah.
Because it evens out a little bit. It gives you an overall perspective of what people's opinions are.
Right.
It just depends on how you take it. Because really, the thing that really bothers me, a negative thing on something that you have no idea about, it's very, very hurtful and negative as a general context for the other person that you're talking to. And I'll bring up a specific example, and I don't know who the person was because they were anonymous, but we started up a GoFundMe after my accident 4 months ago. And the GoFundMe was started by my dad and Brian Lopez, and they had no idea what was going to happen to me. They had no idea about or I didn't. I was going to need some funds, and my family was going to need some funds to cover it. Medical bills are out freaking rageous. Like an ambulance to Bullhead City, and the Bullhead City was not a trauma center. The hospital's not. So I had to take a helicopter up to the trauma center in Las Vegas. And the reason I had to take a helicopter was because I was in such bad shape. I wouldn't have made it if I hadn't gone up there that quick. And that helicopter ride, although it was maybe 20 or 30 minutes, was $75. We were adding it up the other day for no other reason than like the understanding of how much the medical bills are. And just for my medical bills in the month that I was in the hospital and the helicopter ride was just under half. I don't even understand that. And to get back to my point about the haters, this is real life. This is like the medical bills that we're looking at. They set up the GoFundMe like that. I would say, man, they're asking for money. But knowing now what I know, that's not an outrageous amount of money to ask for.
That's a good dent.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the people, and again, I don't know who it was, commented on that GoFundMe, don't bother helping this person. F this, like so negative. And the first thing that I think is I don't give a shit.
Right.
I don't care. Nobody around me is going to care. They know what's going on. But it negatively impacts, just like what you were saying, a comment like that. It tells them, maybe I shouldn't donate the $5. Just because somebody had an opinion that they had no idea what was going on. So they made an opinion without an education on something that they don't know about. And who pays the price? The person that's in distress. In this case, it was me. But this must happen millions of times a day. Like, I'm just one of the examples for that one time that it happened to me.
Yeah.
So, opposite of that. You're a trademark person that helps without asking for anything back.
Yep.
You're helping these kids, and the smiles and the windows, and all the stuff that you saw that day was exactly the opposite.
The off-road scene gets such a bad rep. You know what I mean? So to get a good,
strong personalities, though.
Yeah, these guys, people are like, oh, they go tear up, these trails and stay on the trails. But what I'm saying is we got such a bad rep. So when we do things like that, it shows that we are normal people. We do care. And they're like, these guys are not that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the problem, though. It's like you can do 20 positives and one negative will ruin it.
Yep.
So
I'm going to keep doing my
was going to talk about is everybody's going to have their own opinion. I love it. I love haters. I love their opinions. I just don't want to see it negatively impact somebody or some person in a GoFundMe stuff. But the best part about it was I don't think that anybody that you dealt with or the people after that cared about that. They cared so much that they still donated, that they came to pay for a little bit of my teeth.
Yeah, let's get into that, man. Your teeth, when we talked before, you're like, Cody, you don't understand. Like, look at this. Look how much a grill's going to cost. Like, just to have good teeth again is...
I've heard stories of people going, and it probably depends on what dentist you go to and stuff, but it's like one of those things like, do you go to the cheap guy? Like the guy that you have no idea is going to give you good teeth? Like, for me, it's not just about can't eat that good.
Right.
Like, I have to eat on one side of my mouth, and, like, if I bite my mouth once and it hit, like, it'll start swelling up. Like, there's all kinds of, like, adverse effects. And I have no idea how much it's going to cost. But the people are helping me make my quality of life better.
Yep.
Because I'll be able to go get these teeth. I don't think the money is the biggest issue because I don't think it's going to cover everything. I think it's the general consensus. One guy comment in a negative manner, it really hurts, right? It's like PAZ crew, Frank and Tiffany, they did a huge, huge thing for me. Jeff Angel, all these guys, everybody. Brian Forrester, he was in last week. Yep. All these people, and if I'm missing anybody, please include yourself in my thanks. But, gosh, it's so awesome because now I get to go in there and I don't have to say, can I get on a payment plan? I can say, like, what's the leftover cost? Because all these people help me out. I can go and guess, cook us tacos, dude.
Asian tacos. Ooh.
Whatever we can get, man. So,
Cottonwood? That's a far haul, man, for the day.
When you started this fundraiser thing, and I guess we should talk about positives, too, instead of just the haters.
Yeah.
When you started this fundraiser thing, you would come over and my mechanic guys wanted it to look good for the fundraiser. You walked inside of my house, and I remember, like, fuck, dude, I don't want to cry, but, like, you looked at me, and I swear
we've never talked about that, but
it was a fundraiser.
Or that end of that day. That's how I felt, man, and I was in shock, man.
But the best part is you didn't stop anything you were doing.
Yeah.
And you brought so many people along with you that kicked ass, too.
We had a good team, man.
Dude, that is so good.
We had a good team for that, and that's what it's all about, man, and taking care of each other. I think for everybody who goes through a tough time, each way you look at it, anything in life.
Whether it's a mental disability, financial, medical.
Yeah, I think it was a huge success on everybody. We had a good team come in. We teamed up pretty good with Wyke ZAZ. He's a great guy, man. I just had a problem with my tire the other day, and I texted him at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's like, dude, bring it in right when we open up. I'll take care of it real quick for you.
Yeah.
Really nice,
Margaret brought that salsa. Dude, there was so many good things. Like, I remember just the little kids walking around. Even my dad.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy to see that. So thank you to all the haters, and thank you to all the awesome people.
Yeah.
Even more. Because you changed the way that let's take a break, have a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more of the Dirt Life Show.
Projecting beam pattern and a unique halo backlight feature offered in 4 color options. The SRL Series light bar's new optic combination projects light over 70 degrees wide, with more than enough distance to safely drive in low visibility conditions, making it the perfect lighting solution for most. Instantly transition from style to function with the flip of a switch, making it easier than ever to own the night.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuned every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 to keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
For wheels and tires with the most style, function, and innovation, look no further than Fuel Off-Road. From stock to lifted, dually to trophy truck and UTV applications, tough truck and UTV wheels and tires. Good looks, better prices, and the absolute best range of styles and applications. Find us at fueloffroad.com.
Is there impact on the off-road community? Well, some of you may have seen Solderweld's booths at the races, Lint 400, Vegas to Reno, Score and Snore events, and the UTV World Championship. You're seeing their stickers and sponsor wraps on more and more racers' vehicles every year. But who are they, and what do they have to offer us as off-road enthusiasts? Well, late last year, Solderweld introduced their new off-road repair kit to the off-road industry and sold out their first week. The interest was overwhelming, as many off-roaders already knew of Solderweld's aluminum radiator repair rods, and now they were included in a convenient carry kit in camo or black. If you're a racer of any type or off-road enthusiast like myself, you're going to want to take a close look at this product. Solderweld has combined some of their most elite products into one small kit that fits perfectly under your seat or strapped into your roll cage and allows you to make some insane fixes anywhere you go. How many of us have been in a race or out on the trail and got a rock chip in a radiator or a brake line? We've literally seen a top-tier desert race truck at the 2019 Mint 400 taken out by a simple rock to the radiator. If they would have had an off-road repair kit on board, they could have been back up and running in just a minute. The kit includes everything you need to work on dirty aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and many other metals. Solderweld's cutting-edge technology allows you to make these fixes with extremely low heat and incredible high tensile strength, leaving you with a lasting fix every time. Don't be that guy who broke down on the side of the trail. Get your off-road repair kit today. Your friends will thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We got Brett Carpenter from Rigid Industries on. What's up, Brett?
What's going on? How's it going, guys?
We're doing awesome, man. We're in the scorching Arizona desert, as the Dirt Life Show intro told us.
I don't
How's it up
know.
there in Phoenix?
You think we're hot? How hot are you guys down there right now? What was your temp today?
Dude, it's like it's like 107, 108, 110. I don't know. It's just
So Brett works at Rigid Industries. He deals with a ton of racers. And tell us a little bit more about what you kind of do on a daily basis over there at Rigid.
Yeah. So I am I'm the marketing director over here at Rigid. So we've got we handle a lot more than just racers. That's throughout the year. New product launches and campaigns and stuff like that. So I've got a team of there's about 6 of us. They're all just kick ass in what they do, and they are. They're each the reason why we are so paced. We got about 10 things going on at once all the time, and we just have to keep on moving forward. So it's busy, but it's fun, and we're getting into the busiest time of the year as you talk about 2020.
Yep.
So there's just a lot going on, which is cool. It's also busy, it's stressful, it's all the above, but it's fun.
That's cool. Again, we're talking about racing a little bit, but you have to deal with a lot of racers. And we were talking about how social media impacts the industry, not just individuals, but how it impacts the industry and different changes. Like, I almost want to call them climate changes because social media is so up and down and so infrequent all the time. And you have different
Yeah.
topics all the time. You have haters, you have people talking positive about the stuff. I think
From social media, I guess we look at it a couple ways. From a sponsorship standpoint, I think social media has been awesome, obviously, for everybody for the last.
right.
It's also challenging too because at this point everybody you get approached quite a bit, and there's a lot of people who will approach you with just some standard stuff that they want you to sponsor them, and they'll tell you, I'll do this and this, and I do this on social media, and that's, in my opinion, now, like, that stuff is just standard. Like, it shouldn't even be the point of discussion. It's now, what can you do beyond that, and how do you leverage your social media to brand yourself and do with it,
Yeah.
And so, we deal with that a lot, and it's
Well, that makes a lot of sense because there's not just value in numbers, I think, with social media. Like, I've had a couple conversations, one with Ryan O'Hara from Fuel Off-Road, too, about this. And he was saying that when he sees a resume is worth a little bit of the contract. Social media is worth a little bit of the contract. And I'm not just talking about a racer. Like, you don't have to be a racer to get sponsored these days. You can really make a difference in a company's representation depending on how you act and the people that you have in your following. And I think it actually does make a big difference. And the things that he was telling me, you might be able to kind of chime in on this. He was saying it doesn't matter how many are judging you and looking at your profile and what kind of context you can bring from the company standpoint out to the public.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And part of the process too is like, if I'm a racer, which we've clearly found out that I'm not, that I want to work with, I think that what gets missed a lot early in the conversation is like, asking a couple questions like, what are your marketing goals for next year? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Do you have new products launching? Is there, what shows are you attending? Like, I think if a racer takes the time to ask a few of those questions and learn a little bit more about what the company is doing, I think it'll at least at a minimum extend the conversation, and it'll increase your odds of being able to work with the company. Maybe it's not a quote unquote sponsorship, but if you here's what I can do from a either a hospitality standpoint or B2B with some of my other sponsors. Like, I think learning a little bit more about what the company's doing can go a long way for how you approach that sponsor.
Man, I agree 100%. And I actually have a good example of this too. Is the way that it started out was a lot more organic, like what you're saying. I never ever approached them. I said, "What can we do for you?" And like, we just had conversations. I would always talk to the guys because we were doing good at the races and stuff. So we had a bro handshake here and there. But I said, "What can I do for you? How can I help you?" And it ended up that we were in a situation that one of their factory drivers couldn't go to a show in Arizona. Well, clearly it was easy for me. They called me and they said, "We're good."
There you go.
And so I ended up doing 6 or 7 events. I did it all on my own dime. And I gave them reports after the show. I said, I talked to 300 people. It seemed like 6 of them were actually interested in it. 4 of them said that they wouldn't buy a Yamaha vehicle because they were only looking for a 4-seater RZR or something like that. And I gave them really good information. And then so towards the end of the year, they asked me to do another event, and it was called the Jump Champs. And we had to go out to Glen Helen, and we had to do like a time trial race and stuff. But we were the showcase driver, and we had a great time. And I asked them, I said, can we take a couple of minutes and maybe talk about something that I would like to have a handshake from you guys and start a relationship? They said, we don't have any budget. We haven't, we're not able to help you. We already spent it. We got all these racers on it. Our budgets are spent, dude. Sorry. I said, that's okay. All I want to do is help with what you guys got going on in the future. They have me do a couple more shows and different things like that. But what happened in those few months was transitionary in their business environment. Nothing to do with me, but they got a little bit of budget. They got a little bit of extra that they could do. They got leftover vehicles. And so they called me up and said, hey, you know what? We can do something for you now. We're willing to help you.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you make yourself available and just, if you can remain flexible, and just get involved. I mean, that works. I mean, make yourself available. Provide some opportunity for the company as well. But if you once you get in there and you find an opportunity where you can help them check a box where they're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. That's where you can really see it start to snowball.
Yeah, I agree. And I've heard other people say the same kind of things in different positions. Up Brett and's like, hey, we got this cool event. I think Rigid would light up the whole show.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it. I'm
going to get you involved this year. Christmas event.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes, right? And sometimes it's hard. Like, there's certainly barriers you got to try to break through. You got to get through certain people, and whether it's meeting somebody at a booth at a show or something, and that's selling product, and helping that company sell product. So what can you do to help them do that? It's more than obviously just slapping a sticker on a truck or ride-alongs or employee of the month contests or something. So there's a lot of really, really interesting things that you can do if you get creative. So that's what's cool. That's what's fun about this, is getting creative with other creative marketing minds and learning from them even, and figuring out what works. Then we can apply it to another driver or another brand ambassador, and then you see what works from that, and eventually you develop a couple of really neat programs, and you're hopefully selling some product.
Well, look at what we're doing. We're doing the giveaway, huh?
Yeah. So we'll do that giveaway, and got involved with you, but it's awesome to hear that, because I just think like there's so much, like, you deal with it every day, but in my mind is blowing up right now. I'm like, oh, those things are really cool. Like, I can only imagine the stuff that you get approached with.
Yeah, no, and that's what's cool, is you just start throwing around ideas like that, something will stick. I mean, we've had products that have launched that started as a drawing on a napkin from our ownership group from the guys who started the company, and that's what's pretty neat. I mean, you sit down with someone, if you go to a show or at a race or something, or contingency, take the time to you got a contact in your back pocket down the road, and at least you'll be able to say hi to someone the next time you see them. But unless you try and talk to someone, so
yeah, that I know you a little bit, and for you to have those conversations and to have that openness is really valuable, not only in your position but in my life and everybody around you's life, because I told people a little earlier that you're very, very special in my heart, because I genuinely don't know that I'd be sitting here in the same position had you not stopped on the race course to been understanding personality for situations around you, not just helping me, but obviously when you talk about the things that you do and the openness that you have to understanding what people are doing creatively in a work environment.
I appreciate that. You would have done the same. I was I don't know if I had any business even being in that race to begin with, but
well, you definitely had some business with me.
I learned real quick what it takes to be a race car driver, but that was a unique experience. But no, I didn't think twice about it. I saw you needed my help more than continuing that race. So like I said, you would have done it. You would have done it for anybody else. So.
Awesome.
I'm just glad awesome. you pulled through it, man. And it's amazing to see your journey and your recovery. And I mean, this is the first time you and I. It's amazing to see what you look like now physically and your recovery. And I mean, the long journey you've had, man. It's quite impressive. I'm pretty proud of you, man. It's pretty cool.
I think really he just wanted to see the unicorn, dude.
Yeah,
I think that's
what a cool idea. So I mean, where did the unicorn come from? Is it just a testament to your previous injuries and never giving up, and is that how it all ties together?
See, I love how creative minds think alike. But yeah, so it was a little bit. So there was an idea that came across my head, and not that I like and love unicorns. Now I do, clearly, but so
now they're pretty special to you, right?
I thought to myself one day, I go, I've been through a lot in my life. I've been able to get up from a wheelchair and be able to walk again, and all these different things, and they're things I'm never supposed to be able to do. Like I was supposed to be in a wheelchair, just.
Well, the doctors still.
Hey, you know what? I want to do a project because I've achieved in my mind what I think are miracles in the chance of being able to get other people that have a disability be able to drive the car or at least test out the car. And the unicorn theme was just to show that. And it started as kind of a little side project thing, and we started turned into these badass machines, right? And the Yamaha, for whatever reason, is tuned down so much at stock that I thought the first tune that I got from Graves Motorsports, I thought, holy shit, this thing is freaking insane. Like, it turned this thing into a rocket ship from a freaking slowpoke. And so I was like, this thing is definitely, I'm going to call this the Unicorn Flash Tune, and I'll just give it to all my friends. So that's where the Unicorn name came from. And then we developed, I want to see if I can do a ride across the country. And I have all the maps to do it, an off-road journey across the country. It's called the Trans-America Trail. And it starts up in Oregon and it ends up in South Carolina. And it's all case a disability. Like, you don't have to have a disability and sit inside your house and just waste away. You can have a disability, but then you can drive the Unicorn. I'll give it to you, and you can follow us across the country. And you can come with us. And maybe it's a person that just got out of the hospital. Maybe it's a person that doesn't think they'll be able to do it. I think it'd be super cool to have this thing be a platform.
And let alone the adventure itself, I think is just going to be awesome. So I would imagine you're going to have to ride through the dark, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to light up the night this year, but clearly situation has changed. So maybe we'll be able to do it either in the spring next year or in the fall next year when it cools off a little bit. We'll just put it off now. We'll put it on the back burner for now, but when the time comes, I'll definitely get a hold of you for it. But I think we should definitely do something that's better than just lighting up the night. I think we should light up a person's universe. Taking across the country. Maybe some of these disabled people can't make it across the country. Maybe we stop in every state and let somebody cross the state and get a ride back or something. Like,
plenty of things you can do, man. That's pretty cool. It's very inspiring. Just it's just another notch on your belt.
About other people, and I definitely would like to see great people like the company that you market get involved too. So, a couple other questions that we wanted to ask of you was, we had a discussion today about haters, or I had a problem with Rigid or whatever. It's about the impact that it has on a person's well-being. So when somebody comes on and they are supported by Rigid, or Rigid gets a negative feedback, how does Rigid deal with it, and how do you deal with positive feedback?
Well, social media is, it makes it very easy so easy to just type something out on your keyboard and press enter, or on your phone or whatever. So I don't think there's a lot of thought process in a lot of that. Like, there's been times that I've been frustrated about things too. And it's like, man, if you just sit and you come back, maybe you don't need to. I think it's the same thing with wanting to really express some frustration about something. If you take a breath and, think about it a couple times, then you may decide not to, if you really plan on really attacking someone. In terms of Rigid, we deal with it quite a bit. There's a lot of people that get frustrated for different reasons, or they just want to call out a particular post that we'll throw up on Instagram or something like that. And that stuff is just, you kind of have to, you address it if it looks like something that's, a concern that you're like, oh, okay, well, that's something we can easily fix if they think that about our product or about our company or whatever. But if it's something that's, if there's a warranty issue or something that someone's like, hey, my light bar sucks, like it doesn't work or whatever, it's like, we'll take a look at that. It's like, all right, well, tell us what's going on. How can we help? How can we fix it? And 9 times out of 10, we actually connect with the person and figure out what the issue was, why they decided to blow us up, and then we'll fix it for them and hope that they change their thought process. And
9 out of 10, they probably come back way stronger.
That are relevant to if it's product performance or something like that. We don't want any unhappy customers. So you gotta kind of choose your battles, just like anything else in life. But it happens quite a bit.
Well, that shows a lot in the just how good of a company is when they do that. And in Ridge's case, obviously they're an awesome company with awesome products, but the way that their team is taught to deal with stuff, I think that really has a big impact too, because not only does he feel that way, he has all the other people under him feeling that, and how to do it, turn a negative into a positive.
Well, even a lot of companies, especially big companies like Rigid, as a big corporation like that, some companies that I've seen, they just brush it off and don't even contact you back.
That's the worst.
And that's terrible. So
yeah, and that happens too. I mean, and we try not to let that happen.
Right.
And this is company wide. It's not my policy.
Right.
It's not marketing's policy. I mean, we have a warranty policy. We have customer service. So a lot of times too, we can combat that by just like, hey, head over to our website and there's a live chat with someone in customer service to connect them to our warranty department. But if we get them dialed in and hopefully we change their opinion, like that's one customer that we didn't lose, So it's really important, to do that. Because like you said, I mean, it spirals out of control, man, and it's a small industry, and so all you can do is hopefully leave a stronger impression than what they originally thought.
Well, not talking about Rigid, talking more about it on a personal level. We know that you clearly have a good heart. So if somebody is in a social media environment and they have an issue, how can I fix this? Should they be nice about it? Should they ignore it? Like, what do you think? Like, what would you tell your kids or your wife?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a daughter that just started kindergarten, so I'm gonna be that. I think it just depends. It's tough that there's cell phones. And, I dropped my daughter off at school last week, and she goes to an elementary school, and there's kids sitting waiting for the bell to ring, and they're playing on their phone. And I'm like, holy cow! Like, I didn't get a cell phone until I was almost out of high school, let alone in elementary school. But so I think it just, stuff happens at such a younger age now, and you can't, as long as you can prepare your kids as well as possible, then you hope that they make good decisions. But, for one, I'm smart too. And, I'm sure my wife would think differently than I would, but you don't ever want your kids to get hurt or feel bad or, they come home and say someone's picking on them or something, that would devastate me. So,
well, it's so easy now.
I think it's tough. Yeah.
It's so easy to be bullied, or everything is so easy now. Before it wasn't like that. Meet me at the bike rack. After school bike rack.
Yeah, it's not like that. No. Well, I feel like it's easier to deal with stuff like that, I guess, than what.
That's funny you mentioned that about, how that's how it used to be handled, right? Like, man, there was a spot for that. You know, like
Oh yeah.
Usually it's behind the bleachers.
Yeah.
Usually it's behind the bleachers on the football field, right?
Yep, something. But yeah, it's a different time, that's for sure. But a different and more difficult, more confusing, more.
I want it all to circle back, and I want to understand a little bit more about. Not that we're going to change the world, because our little show isn't anything yet, but I would like to make sure that people understand all of this goes full circle. The things that you say are not just comments coming back to you. The things that you say on other people's platforms can ask for a sponsorship from a guy like Brett at Rigid. There's going to be some negative impacts on that, because he doesn't want nobody talking negative about his company. Yeah. And for the people that have open lines of communication, they may not have those negative things to say. They may call Rigid directly.
Careful who you talk to and how you talk to them around industry wide, because it's just like, man, you may need something in a year or two. You may need help at a race, or you may need help somewhere. Or you never know when you're going to need some help on something. And there's word travels really fast in this industry. It's really tight. I would say the industry as a whole certainly rallies together when there's people need it.
Yeah.
And there's great companies and organizations.
Like I was telling you earlier, man. You come into it saying, hey, the sky's blue, and it goes through this line of people and companies, and now the sky's black. And I said it was blue. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's how to be okay with everybody. It's a
for the haters, dude. We're on to the positive stuff now. So what did you like? How did you do at Vegas to Reno? Like, how was that?
Vegas to Reno was cool. I was out there for a quick in and out. It was like 140 degrees out in the desert.
Oh man!
At least it felt like it. No, it was. I went out there for qualifying. We had a couple guys out there that, a couple new racers to the team. It was hot and dusty and stuff. So I hung out for contingency the next morning, and again just did some networking, just talked to some people, visited with some of our teams. Connected with other people from a screen, follow the dots on the screen kind of thing for on Friday. So that was my Vegas Reno experience. But the race was great. We had a couple class winners. CJ Hutchins is a new Class 1 car for us, and they won first race with us. So that was pretty cool.
That's not one of those all-wheel drive Class 1s, is it?
I guess they call it the 1500 class, but it's the unlimited buggy. Had Jerry Zayden and the Camberg team had a really big win. They qualified first, and they led wire to wire basically, and they brought the win home. So that was pretty cool for them and for us. So
Right on.
So got a couple big sport races coming up.
That's sweet, man. What kind of stuff do you guys usually do for the chase trucks, though? Because you guys have a lot of chase trucks that need that stuff too, right?
Yeah, a lot of the need is, you equip the driver and the race vehicles with their lighting package, but then there's like Baja 1000 is a 24-hour race, so they need to they're making pit stops at 10, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, all hours of the night. So we focus a lot on chase truck setups and make sure we provide each team with the best package that they're gonna be the most successable with. So
Do the race trucks come in for their
depends on the driver, but they come off, they put them on. Andy McMillan's one of our trophy truck racers, and he doesn't always run his lighting package on the roof. They'll come in and basically put that on before they head out for the night for the next 4 or 5 hours. So but it just
for that long duration of time, 1,000 miles, just getting hit by rocks and stuff.
Oh yeah. And that's a tough one too. But once hopefully they're out in clean air. That's what you hope. They're out in clean air and they can just put the light bar on the roof and go as fast as they can. But if they're stuck in the dust, I've seen some pretty cool pictures of pretty blown out lights after a race, and it's always cool to see them still working and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's awesome, dude. You know what, they should come out with light bar tear-offs.
There you go.
Yeah.
How fun would that be?
Yeah. Like a little wiper that goes across.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be fun. Not working.
Man, when I'm not working, I'm just hanging with the family, and just we try to go to the park and get outdoors and do some fun stuff like that. Obviously, it's hot for 4 or 5 months out of the year, but we're gonna hopefully get some cooler temperatures soon and go hiking and stuff like that. Play outside. My kids love to go to the park and stuff. So it's pretty dedicated to family time when I'm not working. Travel on the weekends, so it makes the kids, and football season's coming up, so probably watch a few football games. And
who are you gonna go for? Who's your team?
Oh man, I can't tell you. It's brutal. I'm a local fan, but it's been a tough journey. So we'll see how they do.
So for the people that don't know where he's located in Phoenix, Arizona. So clearly, he's a Cardinals fan. So that's good though, man. Arizona for life, right?
That's right.
Right on. Well, I don't have necessarily a favorite team. I'm still.
I'm not a football guy, man.
Yeah, I'm not really a football guy either, but I do like the Southern California stuff that a lot of people are into too. So I may or may not be a Southern California fan. So if we ever have a Southern California versus Arizona battle, we'll go drink beers at his house. He's light bar contest winner. One of them was.
Go ahead and send it to my door. I already won.
Well, this comment was pretty amazing. I need this light bar to put on my YXZ so I can see what I'm crashing into in the dark when I'm driving my family around.
That guy clearly needs a light. He clearly needs some new light.
Come on, let's say names.
His name is Aunt Cookie 881. So I don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but that was a pretty funny comment that we got. We also got a comment saying, let's see here, to be able to show my light bar so I can see when I'm getting in and out of my truck and to my wheelchair. So that's a good one. Let's see here. There was another really fun one too. Light up half hours for the BMX track.
Hey, that's
FYI, I can still hear you. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can noticed that you fell out a little bit.
We can still hear you good. That's the good thing about FaceTime is FaceTime will still get the audio. Sure. So, here's a good one. If we were to plow the ice roads and the islands, we need the light bar to see everything with rigid. So that was a good one too. So there was some really, really good ones. I always work in the dark. I could use it. So I don't know if you can see us, Brett, but we are going to scroll through the comments here. We're going to have Cody go ahead and just hit his finger on one.
I'm just going to do it. Ready?
All right, let's do it. Excuse me, the light bar that we're giving away again, Brett?
The 20-inch E-Series Pro.
That's an expensive light bar too. It's what, 800 and something bucks?
93, I think.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah.
It's a good light. It's good for a UTV or a truck or a Jeep, whatever.
Yeah, so it is Aunt Cookie 881. Aunt Cookie 881.
And I didn't even see it. You just go, I hit it.
Yep, and so that's Ashley Jimenez. Ashley Jimenez, you're going to have to slide into the Dirt Life Show's DM to Ashley Jimenez on your win. So, Brad, it looks like we're still having a little bit of, oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, I got you. I kicked off my Wi-Fi. I don't know if that was a problem, but I got you now.
Now you're good. Well, the only other last thing that I want to talk, slide into our DMs and let us know. We'll actually contact her if she doesn't. The only other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was in motorsports was what do you think about getting, or how do you think we could get more non-endemic sponsors in? And before you answer that question, I had a Supercuts, is a national haircut chain that came on board with me during some triathlon and bicycle stuff. I had a 5-year goal, and I did all these bicycle events and a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And some corporate change and didn't allow them to do any sponsorships anymore. They just had to do.
I remember seeing your car racing around
the general consensus was like, I just worked my ass off. I genuinely helped them in their program and their business, and they were non-endemic, and they had a great time getting I mean, that's a lot of money. So for them to have, so how do we get that to other people and show them?
It's tough. Unfortunately, there's no formula for it, and if there was, I think we'd obviously have a lot more support within our sport. Man, it's tough. Like you look at, NASCAR's whole model of sponsorship and partners is like B2B. It's most of the corporate sponsors that you see within like a NASCAR team, or within the highest level of a NASCAR team, they're in it for a number of reasons, but a lot of that is just to connect B2B, and you start getting decision makers that are connecting with other decision makers, and it's we're for the most part we're regionally based, in the Southwest. There's obviously events as a whole, and think of how we can continue to expand and build on those. Like there's certain things that we are proud of in our sport, like the Mint 400 or the Baja 1002, and the promoters are doing a great job. But I think I think if you look at it from an event standpoint, like the Mint 400, for example, there's celebrities that attend that, and there's drivers that connect with the right people and the right companies. Like Jay Leno was driving a Camberg race truck at the Mint 400. I mean, non-endemic sponsors. Again, I don't know the formula, but there's certainly a need for it. And I think if, you can connect with certain companies a certain way. I mean, and maybe it starts with shopping local. If you're going to be attending a race, at a certain time of the year in a certain geographical location, maybe you hit up some of the local businesses that may want to advertise through your platform, whether it's a food vendor. And we did that. We tried to connect with local businesses that weren't so off-road driven, but it was like, hey, there's a chance that you can connect with with more people this weekend through this event that's going to draw. Hopefully it boosts the economy for the weekend, and you generate some business out of it.
That makes a lot of sense
and reasonable. And look at certain businesses that you can help regionally. And locally, or that you think can benefit from what you're doing, you start there. But man, there's certainly a need for it, and props to you for that awesome Supercuts deal. I specifically remember seeing your car racing around, and I vividly remember. And at the time, I did not know you. I think it's also on some of the series promoters, and to help grow and to bring in new partnerships and try to change and expand it. I think short course is in a weird spot right now, and I just don't know what direction they're going to go. I certainly hope it's up, but unfortunately it's been flat for years.
Yeah.
And I see the car counts dropping and the spectator count dropping as a result. So if they can get more creative, in terms of short course racing, and bring in some new partners and things like that, then that counts in the schedule. And I mean, everything's the same. It's on script, I could predict exactly how a race weekend is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I've seen it for years. You know, going to the same races, the same track, the same schedule, the same drivers, the same everything.
Yeah.
And so I think that has to change to bring in more partners. You know, from the outside once they see it growing, because
even a small sport like Supercross changes the track every time, and like they pick out and they make it interesting for the fans. I think that's really good. And NASCAR sells obviously the TV packages most of their stuff, and then they have B2B like Brett's saying. I do really agree with you on the events thing. I think the events is really important because the events are driven by the fans, and I know that the non-endemic sponsor that I brought in, Supercuts, was very, very key on half series. That didn't really do anything for them. However, if I marketed one event that they could all come to, that we were going to have a huge blast for all of their employees, and it was going to change the morale of the employees.
What they're trying to achieve, right? So, you know, you give them the opportunity. And most Supercuts employees probably don't even know what off-road racing is, right? But you bring them out for a weekend, a bunch of local Supercut stores, they get to see it, you know, things like that, and actually collect some data about the demographic and who's going to these races and how they can reach them. But yeah, if you can connect that way and create a program as opposed to just, again, it goes back to
for just the employee morale. Like half these employees went back to work the next day or the following week, and they knocked out like 3, 4, 10 haircuts. Like they were killing it, like doing,
you know, and pre-runners and UTVs and stuff. Like, man, you do a arrive and drive type program, or give somebody a ride, you know, a sales promo where someone gets to come hang out with you for the day and ride in your race car. Like those things go a long way. You know, this is the hardest part, but I think once you do, you can certainly establish a good program.
Well, thanks for all your insight, dude. I really appreciate it. Last question we have for you is, well, it's actually a two-part question, but what do you have in the future, and what do you want to be remembered by? Like, what do you want to have people know you for?
Man, tough questions. Really cool things that we're trying to accomplish here at Rigid. And so, you know, we got goals here. We've got an exciting year ahead of us. You know, end of 2019, we have an even more exciting 2020. You know, with some really neat products and stuff coming out next level. You know, and then outside of that, you know, I just hope to keep learning and growing. And, you know, this is actually not my first stint at Rigid. I worked here before at kind of a lower level, and then I left for a great opportunity, and I learned a lot in 2 or 3 years that I was away working for an off-road racing team. I brought what I learned with me, and I hope I improved, you know, that team and from a marketing standpoint, and hopefully I brought them kind of up a notch, and then go backwards. And I don't think anybody does, but I certainly hope to, you know, leave a lasting impression here. You know, not going anywhere, but I just hope that my impact here is seen, and hopefully we can continue to, you know, just get better. So just want to keep getting better. Yeah, just want to keep getting better.
I love that, man. You know, we get a lot of people saying, oh, well, I just want to be known as the baddest dude ever. Like, I just want to be known as the baddest racer. But he's got realistic plans. He wants to take care of his family. He just wants to keep getting better. That's a solid dude right there. Well, thank you very much, Brett, for giving us an insight into not only, we can't wait to
Sand Sports Super Show, Off-Road Expo, SEMA, you know, a lot of really fun events over the next few weeks that, you know, or I'm sorry, over the next few months that we'll finally be able to start showing some of the stuff we've been working on. So really neat piece of content will be dropping soon. Yeah, it'd be fun, man. It's going to be, hopefully it brings Rigid to the next level. That race happened for me.
Oh, yeah.
World Championship.
Well, there you go.
See, it's the little things, man. That's what matters, right there.
Yeah, without Mike, I would have never gone there to race at least. And I just wanted to give him a shout out, man. I appreciate what he did for me too. So
Mike's an awesome dude, and we're gonna have him on the show in October. So Mike,
that's right. That's what you were telling me earlier.
Yeah. So Mike and Danielle, welcome to the dirt life, I guess. So those little things we were talking about the other day, those little tiny things mean a big difference in people's lives, like me. If he didn't let you drive, life sends us in crazy directions. But I'm glad that you made the choice that you did.
No, absolutely. And hopefully we can get together sometime in person and get some lunch. You guys come up here and check out Rigid.
Yeah, let's do it soon.
Yeah, we'll try to do it soon. I got to have surgery this week, giving us some insight into Rigid's employees and how awesome of a company that the employees drive. So Again, much appreciation for all that you've done for me and for all that you've done for all of the industry. So thanks,
you,
man. We'll go eat tacos with you soon, brother. We'll see you.
Tacos.
Talk to you soon. See you guys.
All right, guys.
Later.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Carpenter. Get online, Rigid Industry.
So Ashley Jimenez, hit us up, and we'll get you your light bar. Like to see what she does and with that thing and puts it on. To understand what goes on in people's heads and what they're thinking. And he has a clear focus on what he wants to do for Rigid. But did you notice that he really was enjoying talking about what he was doing?
Yeah, I mean that's so important too. He loves what he does, man. It really truly shows.
It makes a good impact. Good things. We need to just be positive in life.
Yep.
So I appreciate him for coming on and for just making killer products. I'd be bitching if we could do a ride across the country next year. I would love to do that and go help some individuals.
Actually, on that, there's a local guy, Rene Diaz, cool dude. He asked, was it high functioning special needs guy should go on the trip?
Does Rene Diaz have a disability?
I don't. I love the guy. No, he takes care of special needs.
Oh, right on.
Another friend of mine, Dusty Tierra, he helps out too. We go to the dunes together. He brings them out, hangs out with us.
Well, I don't know how many people can fit. I don't know if we should put two special needs people in the YXZ.
I think we should plan something. Maybe little run around a parking lot, give them an opportunity.
Yeah, even if it's not across the country. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
that's a good idea, man. We should put this unicorn to good use.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, again, thank you to Brett, and maybe we can get him involved next year. Let's end the show by saying these Racerback
I know my
tanks.
wife loves this hat. She wears it all the time. She comes back from the store, and she got her Dirt Life hat on, and it's like, wow. She loves that. So
all of it's quality stuff, too.
Yeah, it's good. These are good. These are good quality hats.
Yeah.
The shirts, everything. So get on there.
Shirts are super soft and lightweight for the Arizona heat.
Oh, yeah.
For the scorching Arizona desert. So, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Shock Therapy. Thank you to Solder Weld. Thank you to Fuel Wheels. Thank you to our newest sponsors, Zollinger Racing Products. And, of course, thank you to Rigid Industries for making such awesome products and having such awesome people
man.
Employed.
It's awesome to have the support.
We kind of mentioned it a little bit. I don't know if we're going to half ear, half headphone thing. But if we don't, we may not have a featured guest. Maybe we'll just bro out.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. We'll just bro out and talk about stuff.
If we have one, maybe we'll just get a local guy in here.
We can do something. But maybe we'll just do a short show or something. We'll see. Whether you get it on iTunes, whether you get it on Stitcher, whether you're looking at it live on Facebook or YouTube, thank you so much. Like, you guys are what makes us want to do this. We want to share our lives with you. We want to share and we want you guys to join back with us. We want you guys to comment on us. We want you to tell us what's going on in your lives. Tell us fun places to visit. Just get back and interact with us as much as possible. We love hearing the stories, and we love talking about it. So until maybe next week, but the following week for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
This is Dirt Life Show. Thank you very much. Cody Sanders, Georgie Hamill, peace out.
This has been another incredible episode of the Dirt Life Show with George Hamill and Cody Sanders.